Silver Rails here, and today we're at the Lionel layout, which is about 12 feet wide, about 16 feet long, with a yard that's another 16 feet by maybe 4 feet. This is my trusty David Doyle, which talks about the early post-war trains up to about 1970. And the reason it's out is we're going to talk about this locomotive set right here. This came out in 1950. It was supposed to be celebrating, I heard, the anniversary of Lionel Trains. And it came in a freight version and in a passenger version. What it says in David Doyle is, introduced in 1950, the early die-cast base Alcos were deluxe in every detail. Mechanically, each unit had an operating coil coupler in the front, as well as operating headlight. Now, about these electromagnetic operating coil couplers, you can actually put a relay in there, which when activated by the whistle button on your transformer will cause it to uncouple. I think the old timers called that a teledyne system. It's been done. I haven't done it. But if you were in this hobby back so many years ago as I have been, you would know things like that. So that's why I'm mentioning it, for the sake of you younger folks. The powered unit had a lever down 3-position E unit, an operating horn, which is the old bicycle horn. Don't ever store these things with the D-size battery in it. It will leak over time and severely damage your locomotive, and you often find them with battery damage. Cosmetically, they had 2-piece ornamental horns, headlight lenses, windshields, rear steps attached to the frames, front steps attached to the die-cast side frames of the front trucks. Now here's something you need to know about. You see the nose on this one is yellow? That is the common version. The rare version, this part here, was painted gray. Beware! A lot of fraudulent trains appeared on the market, and I'll tell you why in a minute, that had the fake gray on it. Don't get suckered into buying and paying a premium for one that's fake and counterfeit. The first version, Type 1, according to Doyle, like new condition, with that gray nose, is way up high on the rarity scale and worth $3,800 at the time this book was published. This is not the rare version. Now, a shyster might paint that gray and try to fool somebody. So what is this one worth? Well, there's Type 2 and there's Type 3. I don't know if mine's a 2 or a 3. The rare version was a Rarity 8. Type 2 is a 6, and the third type is a 5. So mine's at least a 5. The least rare Type Rarity 5 were identical to the Type 2, except the side frames were black oxide coated. So are mine painted, or are they black oxide coated? I think they're black oxide coated, I'm guessing. Incidentally, you sometimes find these with a big bulge here caused by overheating. It would probably help to put a piece of tinfoil or some kind of a heat shield in there to protect them. So mine apparently is a Type 3. It's worth $500 in like new shape. The Type 2 is worth $650. So these things are rare and they're valuable, but they're also fun. Now, us old timers know that the powered unit should be hooked this way and run backwards, pushing the dummy unit. That's what the custom was back in the day among the knowledgeable collectors that also operated their trains. Now, I don't have the complete passenger set. I have this. This is a modern car made a few years ago, and the old Lionel in 1950, they didn't have a baggage car. But these are two from the original train. This says Livingston. It's really in like new condition. 2483. This one is the Plainfield 2481. Apparently I need to find 2482 to complete my consist, which was a 3-car consist. Now this is very similar, but this is the new version. It says Romeo on it. Why it says that, I don't know. It's number 6068. You can see right away, these little things here that look like air vents are actually thumb screws. Take them out and lift the roof off to get access to the light, to replace the light. It's as simple as that. There's no thumb screws on there. I don't know how you get at the interior lighting on this one. I guess one of the modern collectors, I see it's loose. You probably have to pinch and twist or something. Now, let's see what Doyle says about these. 2481, kind of hard to find them in the catalog because there's so much stuff in here. The first step, of course, is to find the passenger car section. Here they are, passenger cars. My memory's not what it should be. 2481. They run numerically in this book, so they don't run according to the year of manufacture. Here it is. 2481 Plainfield. In light new shape, like mine. It's worth a lot of money. $375, Rarity 5. The Westfield that I'm missing, same thing. It would look just like the Plainfield. And the observation, believe it or not, is only worth it's only worth $325. The other two are worth $375 in like new. I'll probably find one in excellent, but I'm not going to pay $200, which is what they say they're worth in excellent. I doubt these values are still true because I think there's been quite a bit of erosion in the value of these early post-war Lionel trains caused by the fact that the old-timers that wanted them are dying off, and the youngsters are still just starting to discover the fun of this stuff. And they're pretty much caught up in the modern full-scale stuff. Let's say a little bit about that. Full scale is wonderful if you can afford it, but it's very space expensive. You take a full scale passenger car, it's hard to get a layout with big enough curves to accommodate it. These cars are approximately 1/64th scale, similar to Mark's, and that's what post-war S-gauge American Flyer is. 1/64 scale. There's a lot of stuff out there on the market in that scale. Ertl made all kinds of tractors and farm sets in that scale. You go to Walmart, you'll often find toy cars, die-cast cars in that scale. You can find more stuff probably in the 1/64th with ease than you can in O-gauge. O-gauge is 1/48. Die-cast cars in 1/48 are hard to find. Most of the ones we have, all of the ones on my layout are 1/43rd, which is oversized. Way oversized for these, but I'm so used to looking at it that I don't care. I even use O-gauge figures on my S-gauge layout because I think they look better. Okay, so that's the story of this set. We're going to see if it works in a minute. And this book here was printed in America, IBM 0-87349-890-9, published in 2004 by K.P. Krause Publications. That's Krause, an imprint of F&W Publications Incorporated. And it says, dedication from my Uncle Joel, whose loan of a simple Lionel set to an excited child planted the seed for a lifelong hobby, and my parents who nurtured it. Wonderful book, folks. Very thick. You can spend hours studying this book. And there's others in the series. There's the pre-war, the post-war, the more modern era, the American Flyer one. Whether they ever did one for the last 20 or 30 years, I don't know. If they did, I'd like to have it. But it's a great series. The Standard Catalog of Lionel Trains, 1945 to 1969. 1970, I think, was the inauguration of the MPC era, where they licensed the right to use the Lionel name, and I think they acquired many of the dies. Well, here we go. This is the power unit. In front is the dummy. That's the proper way to do it according to us old timers. I forget what the theory is, but that's the way we often did it. But not everybody did it that way. Don't worry about it if you like to run yours the other way. Well, there's my dead spot, folks. I have run numerous wires around here. This is an issue with Fast Track that I've never been able to solve. There we go. There's low power there, and it's giving the engine fits. Once it gets past that point, it should take off. Now, did you hear the growl of this Alco mechanism that's in here? Who needs all these fancy modern sound systems? I like to hear the old-fashioned sound. This is an FA, not a PA. FA is freight Alco. PA, I believe, is passenger Alco. At least that's what I think FA and PA stands for. So it's kind of ironic that Lionel made an FA unit instead of a PA unit, but they equipped it with these passenger cars. The original Lionel, as far as I know, never made a PA diesel. Ultimately, the modern Lionel did, of course. And I think Williams made some nice ones too. If I was to get one, I would probably get the Williams because I think the electronics are quite reliable. But I hope all the younger folks out there will learn to appreciate the natural sounds made by the old Lionel locomotives. The growl, the love of the sparks that fly, the smell of the ozone. Well, thanks for watching. Appreciate y'all. Please subscribe and have a good day.